The first thing I will say about demand is that depending on the source you go to, you will get an answer that you may or may not like. And in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a slide which kind of takes the top companies and what their forecast capacities are in gigawatt hours. And you can see there is almost 100% variation between the most conservative versus, the more optimistic viewpoint of somebody like SNE or BNEF, who are in the 7.8 gigawatt, 7,800 gigawatt hour type capacity requirements. Ultimately, most business people invest in businesses for precisely these. They want top line growth and they want profit potential. And interestingly, you'll notice that on the margin on the y-axis, cell production is probably on the lower end. And this, by the way, is EBITDA. So it's not really the final net margin, because as you probably know, or you will probably see in the next few slides, capital investments in cell production is very high due to the hardware requirements, due to the climate condition requirements, and the moisture and dust, etc. So the DA part, the depreciation amortization part of this is quite high. So the net margins are even lower. But unfortunately, it's one of those must-dos. You have to have this if you are to fulfill the demand, which is partially the reason why you're seeing a lot of OEMs having to step back in, much like they invested in the engine parts of the business, capital intensive, lots of work. So they're used to this. So this is not new to them, which is why you're seeing a lot of OEMs comfortable doing JVs with people who bring technology to say, hey, you bring the technology, I'll guarantee you the market and the demand, and let's put together a JV to get dedicated cell production. So we take away that equation. Many industries, everything from the power, the utility, the heavy equipment manufacturers, the converter makers, there is lots of different players in the space, and it's definitely a very dynamic space. And I think going forward, as we rely and push more and more towards renewable energy, this also allows us to capture the periodicity of the various sources like solar, PV, etc. And there is even talk of combining this along with compressed air or hydro, etc. So this is a dynamic area. I think it's worth kind of keeping an eye open if you're in this space. Going back to lithium ion, the actual production, what I would suggest is if you looked at this 10 years ago, CATL, which is the Amperex Technology Limited, they were at that point just a thought. I mean, they had just started thinking about production. I think they may have had maybe one line. They were nowhere there. The big gorillas in the room at that time were Panasonic, Sanyo, obviously, which is now one company, Panasonic. LG was there because of their historical consumer business, along with Samsung. And the other companies, SK Innovation had just been formed, was beginning to make a name for itself by going after certain applications and certain customers.
To watch the entire video, contact us via the link given below in the description.